My review of the Lenovo Tab One after a week of use. I needed to replace my Nexus 7 that is now about 12 years old. It still works great. Google has always made great products, but the last version of Android that would install on it won't run many new apps. And it only had 8 gigabytes of memory, and a lot of the most common apps really fill it up fast. The problem with replacing it is that as phones have gotten bigger, the market for small tablets receded, and I wanted a tablet that could fit in a large coat pocket. I wanted a tablet to carry around with me, not one to use in the home. Too many tablets appeared that were relatively small, but I needed narrower than 5 inches, and this Lenovo Tab One just makes it. Perhaps because it isn't selling well, my local Best Buy had it on sale from $150 to just $110, and that seems to still be the current price more than a week later, so that's great. Opening the box, there's a 2-page quick start guide pointing out the buttons, but no general instructions about using Android. It has a yard-long, meter-long cable, but I was disappointed that there was no charging plug. If someone doesn't already have a plug, that could be very annoying, as I don't think it will charge off a computer's USB port very fast. It came 60% charged, and it seems to charge about 1% every 1.5 minutes. I suspected it would go faster if it was powered off, as with my initial charge, I didn't go into airplane mode and had a clock app running as a timer. I also realized right before making this that the charger I used might only be 7 watt max, and the charger they recommend on the Lenovo site is 20 watt. Battery life seems great so far. It advertises 12.5 hours of steady YouTube usage on a full charge. I have not tested that out. It came with Android version 14, but updated to 15 right away. The OS is Lenovo Zui 17. It said it would take 1 hour to update, but seemed to only take 11 minutes before it has to restart. Only a minute or two after that. Which is great. I had 46.5 gigabytes free out of 64 gigs after the initial setup. I don't need to use the microSD slot yet, but it's easily accessible if I ever do. The reviews all said the device came with lots of bloatware. I didn't really notice any I didn't ask for. Besides Fitbit, which is about 100 megabytes, FM radio, WPS Office, which is about 300 megabytes, Tide, 120 megabytes, that's a sleep and meditation app, YouTube Kids, which is about 50 megabytes, I uninstalled, Candy Crush, 200 megabytes. I think the complaints came because during the initial setup, it suggests a few dozen common apps to install that you scroll through, and some are checked on automatically, and someone swiping through the screens quickly probably didn't catch to toggle those off. I would be very annoyed if I was tricked into installing stuff I immediately wanted uninstall. This is my guess. During setup, it offers to let me transfer everything over from my old device, but my Nexus 7 doesn't have Android 10, which appears to be the minimum required. I even had a cable to connect both tablets, but the Nexus 7 wouldn't display the screen where I didn't put the code to start the transfer, so I ended up just doing it manually. Going through setup, I was surprised I had to choose between gesture navigation or 3-button navigation, as I would think both could be working at the same time. It did identify my location right away, but oddly the weather app was Celsius by default, which surprised me. Also by default, it let me sets a randomized MAC address when connecting to any network, which was the first time I've ever seen this, and I have my home router set to assign a specific IP to every device I regularly use, so I turned that off. The camera works well. I recorded some video and photos. It likes well-lit shots better than dark, which I'd expect. People I showed the tablet to commented on how good some of the outdoor photos look they took outside. The front and rear camera seems to be pretty much the same. Obviously one's a little smaller, but they don't really look much worse. The front. So far, it's playing games rather fast. Some people say it won't play the newest, most demanding games, which I'm not surprised by because the processor isn't top of the line. But I'm impressed with everything I've thrown at it, which is some pretty advanced racing games and stuff like that. Some complaints I do have, it's hard to get the packaging open, or at least to figure out how the box lid open. It's behind me, or I'd show you, but it's just annoying, but not a big deal. The auto rotate seems to be more sensitive than I like. I think it really wants to be horizontal more than vertical. Not a huge complaint, really. The screen seems to smudge easier than I'd like. Not a big deal, but it's something I noticed on the dark screen more than the lit screen. That's about it. I'll report more as I've used it more, but so far I'm rather impressed. It's a good replacement for the Nexus 7, and it is a pocket tablet. Fits in my pants pocket as well as my coat pocket, which I wanted. So that's it for now.